Okay, YouTubers, I got another boat today. Customers dropped this off. Matter of fact, this is the same customer that I bought that Johnson 85 off of in a previous video. So this is another 85. It is a standard shift shaft type shifting. So it's not hydromatic or hydroelectric. It's actually got tilt trim. It's an Evinrude. It's a 1973 85 horse 4-cylinder 2-stroke. Kind of a rainy day today, but it looks like it's starting to ease up a little bit, and it does seem like the rain is stopping. So figured I'd come out. What he's looking for is kind of a health check on the motor. He wants to make sure I get the water pump replaced in it. Any running conditions, any running issues he wants to be resolved if there are any. So this will be the first time it started up this season, and so we're going to go from there. It definitely going to get spark plugs. It might need carburetor cleaning. I don't know. I'm going to try to get it fired up and see what it looks like here in the driveway, and we'll go from there. So. Wow. Wow. Oh, that's under good. Okay. Yeah, this looks exactly like the same engine on that 85 I was working on. Let's see. Yeah, he's got a little sticker on here. It says carb clean, water pump, question mark, transom. Okay. But I'm going to try and fire it up first. I want to see how it runs and idle at least. And I put it in the test tank, but it's bolted to the boat, and I'm not going to do that. I'll just get a pair of muffs, and we'll try to fire it up. Yep. Okay. Well, folks, the battery's dead, and I forgot he did tell me to charge it, so I got to get the charger on it, and I'll have to wait till it charges up. All right, looking over this motor, right away I see all 4 coils have deep cracks in them. That could be a problem. They could start to break up at high speed. That's my first recommendation: is replace all 4 coils. I'll check for spark first, see what I get. But at idle, it may be fine, but you get up into the higher RPMs, it could start to break apart. GK spark plugs. Those probably aren't right. NGKs are not the right spark plug to be using in this. These old motors like champions. Anyway, that's the second thing I noticed. And we'll replace the spark plugs. I've already got those on order through Napa. definitely something wrong. Push the choke. Not even getting it to cough. Alright. I'm going to check the video and see if I got a spark. If I don't have a spark, then I don't have any. Spark. Yeah, spark on this one. I saw it. Let's see. I don't see spark on that. Yep, saw it there. Saw it there. Now, just got to make sure we have spark on this cylinder. I did see it earlier, a second ago, before I had the camera on. Yeah, I'm not seeing it now. Not seeing it now. I'm going to change this tester out and see if I see it on a different tester. Could be the tester is going crazy on me. Let's see if I can see it on that one. That's number 3. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4, but I'm not sure. Oh, wait a minute. This is the number here. 4. This is 4. This is cylinder 4. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah. He's already got compression readings, so hopefully those are accurate. 125, 125, 130, and 135. So I'll verify that. But we're not getting spark on this, and it could be this coil. This coil is got a big crack across it. That's why I would suggest changing all these coils out, because they're just they're suspect as it is. So you can see this one too has a big crack going across it here. Number 1 cylinder here has got a big crack going across it here, and then this one's all cracked up. So I could try moving one of those coils over to see if I get spark out of here, but I'm guessing that it's this coil. Either that, I'm not making good contact in here. Try it one more time. Nope, it's not firing. Okay. But I think you can see that number 2 was firing okay, and number 1 and 4 were also firing okay. I'm sorry, 1 and 3. 1, 2, and 3 were firing okay, and number 4 is the only one that's not. So we're missing on 1 cylinder. You see it firing. So I'm going to say the cylinder, this cylinder is not firing. So that would be my number 4 coil. But like I said, you should get all 4, change them out, because the rest of them are going to go soon anyway, if that's the case. Okay, well, we'll pick up where I'm going to do compression now, so stand by. Okay, I'm going to try this. It's the only one that's not showing spark, but I'm going to check it on the outside of the against the block, and put it here. If I see spark now, I know I'm getting spark. I know I'm getting spark, but I'm not getting enough. Yeah, I think it did. Barely. Yeah, it's getting spark, as you can see, but it's just not getting a strong enough spark. So I'm blaming that. So, okay, now next is the compression check. Okay, now as you can see what I've got all the spark plugs grounded to the chassis, so I don't put the coils, but they're probably no good anyway. But anyway, we'll give it a try here. Let's see what we have. I'm showing about 115. 110 actually. You know what? I gotta open the throttle too. I'll be right back. I gotta open the throttle. We'll test. So see what happens. About 105. Okay, well. Great, but maybe if it's warmed up it would do better, but 105 is still okay. It's acceptable. Let's see what we get on this one. Everything's connected still. It's 120, so that's much better. 120. Let me check that bottom one again. Maybe I didn't seal well. It's possible that O-ring didn't seal because it is in an awkward place. Try one more time. 115 or 110. 90, 9500, 105, 10. Yeah, 110. So we got 110, 120. Okay, that's a little better. 120. 120. We had 120, 110, 120. And let's see what this one is. 120. 120. Okay. About 119, 120 is right there. Okay. So we can call it 120, except for that one. And that's only 10 pounds difference. That's probably 8% variance. 8%. I just cleaned and gassed all these. They were heavily carboned up, but maybe they'll work. So we'll make sure that they're fit for use. this head is getting a little warm. This side, not so much. It's pretty cool. This side's getting pretty warm. So I'm not going to mess with that. We got it running. We have spark. We have compression. Next thing is the lower unit. Now I'm going to suggest he replaces at least one, if not all of 4 of those, because I'm just not seeing spark on the spark tester. And I switched out the spark tester and still didn't see spark. The only way I saw spark was on the spark plug itself, and I just think it's a weak spark, and that could cause runnability issues as well. So especially upper RPMs. So anyway, that's going to be my recommendation. I'm going to shut the water off now, and then turn it on that lower unit and start on the water pump. Okay, I think you'll be able to see this. Okay. So you'll be looking here. I've already vented it here. I just want to crack this open and see what the oil looks like. Here, this oil might be full of water, it might not be. Well, it looks pretty good. I don't see, I don't see anything that looks like water in there. So that's good. That's very good. I do see some metal fines. Very tiny. This is normal. I want you to notice that is normal. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there are some tiny little fines on the magnet, but that is normal. There's no big chunks coming out of it. So I'm just going to let this drain, and when it's done, then I'll go to pull it off. Make sure all the oil is out of it, if there is any in it. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot in it. Boy, I hope there's more than that. Wow. I'm going to drop it down a little bit, let that thing drain, see what happens. Okay, it's still draining, but boy, there wasn't much in there. The water that you see is in there is just from the from running it, with the water source I've applied to the lower unit. It's just dripping in there. But the oil itself looks really good, so there's no water intrusion at all. To speak, I can't see any anyway, so I'll test it, but I just wanted you to see it is still coming out. It is cold today, so the oil is going to be a little thick coming out, and it takes time, but at least there's a little bit more than I thought there was in there. Not a whole lot more, but anyway, it looks pretty good. To begin the process of removing the lower unit, you got to get to the shift lever, which is what's pivoting here. And I think there's a pin way back there, and maybe I can show that in a second. Right where it's pivoting at the bottom at the very end, down where that leaf is. See that? Hang on a second. So I probably just got to remove this bolt here maybe even this one here, and I can slide that off of there, and then slip it off of there. So I'm going to start with that, and then I'll go down to the lower part of the unit, remove the I think they're M14s on each side. There's an M14 here, so there's two on the other side. I don't think there's anything hidden anywhere. This should come right out. So, all right, we'll start with this, and stay tuned. Maybe. No, not that. 3/8. Pretty tiny. Yeah, 3/8 is the size. So I'm going to pull the pump off and just see what kind of condition we're in. Actually, before I do that, I probably should do a pressure test. I think I will. So as you can see, I was having trouble getting it up to 15 pounds of pressure. It was leaking down as I was pumping it in. So there is a leak somewhere. Okay, so it doesn't look like I'm getting any foam at the prop shaft, but I am definitely losing pressure. It's already down to 11 pounds. So my guess is it's going to be somewhere on the drive shaft seal under the pump housing. So I'm going to take that apart and see if that's where it might be coming from. Like I say, I don't see anything coming from this prop shaft. No foam or any bubbles that are blowing out. So I'm going to say that's probably okay. So I'll go up top and take a look up there. Yeah, here's our problem. Yeah, it looks like our shift shaft seal is gone. You can see the big bubbles coming out of it now. At least that much. Yeah, there they are. Okay, well, and it's possible. I'm gonna once I remove the water pump, I'll be able to tell too if the drive shaft seals are leaking. But right now we know the shift shaft seals are definitely leaking. So stay tuned. Okay, here's the big unveil. We'll see what the water pump impeller looks like. Well, it's seen better days. At least all the fins are there, but they are worn, and that has taken a memory set for sure. So that's probably not pumping much of anything. Yeah, you can see, wow. It looks kind of scorched too, or that's just wear marks, I don't know, but definitely worn out. They're almost flat, but at least they're not broken. It means they're not up in the power head, so that's a plus. Let's see if I can get it off the shaft here. Oh, good. Yeah. And the plate don't look too bad. I don't see any real heavy gouges in it, so I probably can reuse that. And the water pump housing, well, let's see. don't look too bad either. It's probably gonna need that O-ring though, new O-ring. Probably a new O-ring up here. You see these are looks kind of corroded. I'll have to clean that out, put some new grease on it. Okay, that O-ring will have to come off. Yeah. It looks a little burnt in there, doesn't it? I don't think it's a groove. I just think it's rubber that's melted. So at one point, it definitely, that impeller has started to melt. That's what that is. So it did get hot at one time. I'll take a look at that, a little closer look. Maybe I can clean that up with some solvent and get that cleaned up better. But I don't feel any grooves in it. That O-ring probably is toast. Okay. Make sure I get an O-ring on order for it, and maybe the new O-ring up here. I'll probably have an O-ring on this shaft as well. So probably underneath this plate. I'll have to get that off, so that'll be the next step. Now again, you can see the shift shaft seal is leaking. The drive shaft seals seem to be fine. No big bubbles coming out. Also, again, down here at the prop shaft seems okay. So those are fine. Just that shift shaft is the problem. So I'm going to take that apart now. Okay, well, here's the deal. I took the cover off, the shift shaft cover off here. And all four, there's just 4 bolts, but one of them broke. So I'm going to have to drill that out, tap it, and then replace the bolt. Now, the only other problem is, and the reason that was leaking is because down in here, there is supposed to be an O-ring in that groove down there. If you can see that groove, but there is no O-ring, and that's exactly why it's leaking air. And that's why it failed the test. So, unless it is there, maybe it is right there. I just can't, it's just worn out. So I got to dig it out of there and see, but we'll have to order a new O-ring, a new bolt, and I'll have to drill and tap that hole out of there. So that's the next plan. Oh, well, I mean, that kind of thing happens. These bolts are so corroded, that hasn't been off of there in years probably. So I'll need to order a gasket too, and just a rubber grommet and a bolt, and I should be able to get it back together. So stay tuned. More fun coming. more fun yet to come. Okay, these are all the parts I've taken off so far, but I'm down to the water pump base here. This is the base plate. It does have some pretty, I didn't notice this until I cleaned it, but there is some pretty deep grooves in here. I can feel them with my fingernail, thumbnail. And so I think that's probably had it. Yeah, I wouldn't chance it. It does have a deep groove right here. I didn't notice that until after I cleaned it. It was okay here, but right in here. And this has been burned so badly that it's actually melted this, and it's partially blocking the opening where the water discharges. So this cup probably has to go. It's probably got a, I think we're going to have to order the new housing, the new insert, the new that's a chrome insert, and then of course the O-ring too. So it'll be the whole package, the whole kit. Probably wouldn't hurt. And of course the O-ring for in here.
And after that, we can, and then of course, I have to order one more bolt like this. This looks like an M6 bolt. I'll find it online or on marineengine.com, and we'll replace it. There's the broken one. So, okay, well, we'll go from there. At least we have a breakdown of what we need. Stay tuned for part 2, and once these parts come in, I'll reinstall, reassemble the engine, and we'll get it running tip-top. So don't forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Thanks again for watching.